for making time and speaking with us. We're very excited to recognize you and your contributions to the Indian dairy and global dairy footprint to a great extent. And what we really want to do is this conversation is about you and how you got to where you are and how you are an inspiration to your organization and probably people who don't even know you. You're probably an inspiration to them. So what I
Yeah.
want to ask you is it'd be great if you can just to start with, give us a little bit about your background. How did you, just walk us through the journey, just very
Yeah.
informally, just like you would tell your brother, tell me, you know, just about your journey, and we'll just start there.
Okay, Anup, thank you. I will just start with my my personal life, and with then I'll go into my professional career. See, personally, uh, right now I am country managing director of GEA India. I have total 32 years of experience. I'm married. My wife, she belongs to Jaipur. I am from a very small town, Sagar, in Madhya Pradesh. It's a very old and historical place. Earlier, it was one of the top, education hub in Madhya Pradesh. Sagar University was very
Correct.
famous in the earlier days. Uh, and I have one son. He passed out chemical engineering, and he's right now working since last 2 years, and he is now planning for further study in US.
Perfect.
My family. I have my brother in Singapore, my sister in Mumbai, and we are quite a big family in terms of our all my and my wife's spread across mainly in Rajasthan and in Madhya Pradesh. My schooling started in Kendriya Vidyalaya. I have done my entire schooling in Kendriya Vidyalaya. In between 2 years, my father went to Iraq, so I have done 2 years schooling in Basra, Central School there. There was a standard eighth and ninth. I studied there, and then we came back to India, and I completed my schooling in same Kendriya Vidyalaya, and in 12th class I was topper, and I received gold medal also during that time, along with best student of the year award for my all round performance in sports and education. I'm very fond of sports also, because that keeps me motivating. And I was a state level player for basketball, and
Wow.
even today I do a lot of cycling. Like the maximum cycling in one time I have done 100-kilometer cycling, and also I walk a lot, like every day, somewhere around 15 kilometers a day. That is. So I try to keep myself fit uh, in terms of my physical activity. But another my interesting hobby is that I like to read a lot. Almost in a month I am reading close to 2 to 3 books of different functional areas, and also related to some personal life. So after my schooling in 12th, I joined LIT. I started doing my chemical engineering. So I passed out from Nagpur in 1989, and since then, I have been working. My first job was what I got in through campus. That was Deepak Fertilizer and Petrochemical. There, I was mainly doing shift operation. I was running a ammonia plant. Coming in, first shift, second shift, and night shift. This continued for 2 years. Then I was looking for a change. Then I joined Godrej Soaps, which is another
Yeah.
very famous Indian company. There, it was basically a oleochemical company manufacturing all types of chemical for soap industry, soap and
Right.
detergent. I worked in Godrej for 4 years. When I joined Godrej, it was, I would say, just a bare land, and the project was starting. So everything starting from project execution, commissioning, running in shift. That was my job during these 4 years. But after these two jobs, where I was into the industry, running plants and running in shifts, I thought that now I should get into something where I can have more contribution towards my education, what I have, and also my passion, what I have. That I want to do something new, learn something new, and also try to develop. around what I have, learned in chemical engineering, basically.
Right.
So I joined. Actually, it was a coincidence that I got the right job. That was L&T Nairo Limited, which was a joint venture between L&T and GEA Nairo of Denmark,
Correct.
and now it is GEA because in 2005 L&T sold off their stake to GEA, and now we are here. So you can see I am in this company since last 26 years. That itself shows that the place where I'm working I really enjoy. It has got host of technologies and it keeps me motivating every day to learn something new.
Correct.
In GEA, actually, I have worked in various departments. I started my career with project execution. I was a project man executing projects. Then I went into process engineering, detail engineering, then commissioning of the plants for a couple of years. Uh, after after all this project execution till commissioning, I switched over to sales in the organization and started taking care of sales of Indian subcontinent and also little bit of export. That time, some initiative was started for export business. Now, in the company, I have rose from increasing responsibility, starting from project manager to the level of business unit head, and then senior director. And since last 3 years now, I am country managing director for GEA India. And during my this entire career, what I have just now talked about, I have also gone through some of the professional courses, which I try to develop some of the skills, and fortunately, through my company, I got reasonably very good opportunities. I have done a course of GLOPACT in IIT Mumbai. Then in IIM Ahmedabad, I have done a senior management course. Then recently, I did a 9-month on-site and off-site course at London Business School. That was for Global Business Consortium. So along with all these courses, I was also trained by GEA Nairo AS in Denmark, and I was placed there for 6 months to have a on-job training for basically designing of the plants and also execution of such plant which we are designing. So this was, basically a very short brief about me. But during this entire career, I had got a very good opportunity to work with many national and international clients, and I have traveled extensively in India and also across to various countries. I was just calculating yesterday. I visited almost close to 26 countries for various business and training purposes.
Nice. Nice.
So
So
this a brief about my personal and professional life.
no, that's very good. In fact, the first comment I was going to make is you look exceptionally young to have a boy who's out of college for 2 years, and then you explained why you look young because you like sports and so you still keep healthy and fit. So that's
Yeah.
that's fascinating. The other two interesting things that you said, the fertilizer company you worked in. I went to college in Calicut in Kerala, and I used to do an internship at Grasim. Uh,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Grasim was our customer. I have many times visited Grasim.
yeah. So that's one common thing. And the second common thing is you mentioned Godrej soap. So I worked in palm oil for 5 6 years in Singapore, and
Okay.
so Godrej Oleochemicals produced a individual called Dorab Mistri.
Yeah.
Dorab is now the world authority in palm oil. So
Exactly.
so when you were saying the names, I was making my own mental connections. So that's very nice. Cool. So moving from that, the first thing that was going through your head as you were explaining to me and you were sharing with us your experiences, you have seen firsthand the Indian dairy market evolve in 26 years. And I
Yes.
don't think it's evolve because, I mean, evolve, I don't think the word evolution will do justice to how
Yeah.
that industry has progressed. So
Mm.
share with us from your eyes,
Mm.
you have grown and the industry has grown. So there are two growth paths that have happened. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so give us a view from your eyes. how would you see, explain how Indian dairy business has evolved? Probably it's not the same today as it was, when you started, probably.
Okay. See, I mean, this question is very interesting for me because I live with this kind of,
Yes.
dairy day in and out in our business. As you know, GEA is into food, energy solution, but dairy is one of the, key business for us. And in India, almost, I would say more than 50% of our total turnover, what we do is coming out of dairy.
Correct.
So dairy actually, and we are also placed in Vadodara, which is, Gujarat is the hub for, it is like Anand is considered as milk capital of India.
That's right.
So what I will not go into the exactly numbers because numbers are floating around everywhere. I will
Yeah.
just give you a basic concept and how dairy has taken up in the past and how it is growing and what my feeling is about this industry and how it should grow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, just what I would say right now, right now the dairy industry is at the brink of paradigm shift. As you know, in 1960, India was say number fifth in the list of highest milk producing countries. Like India was, I think, what I remember, somewhere around 20 million tons per annum, whereas the top one was Russia, which was 80, close to 80, and then followed by US, Germany, and France. Okay, so
Yeah.
India was at number five, way below one fourth of the top producing nation, and from that, in 1960s today, India is the largest producer of milk. Okay,
Correct.
India is close to 200 tons, suppose. US, the second largest is almost close to 100. And then third is Pakistan, then China and Brazil. Now, if you see in 1960s, the five out of the five country, Russia, Germany, and France doesn't exist in the top five nations of milk producing today. So that is a journey which has taken place in India. It was a good journey. It was a very exciting journey. A lot of initiatives and effort has gone with many people in the industry. It won't be wise to name few of them because it was a very mammoth process to bring in India to the level what we have.
Correct.
Having said this, it's not so easy to say that we have become the largest producing nation and that is the end of it. Because then if we go into the next level detail and why I said that India is at the brink of paradigm shift, because hardly 20% of the milk what we produce is now going into the industry. Rest all is lying locally consumed, unutilized, or sometime going into some product which is not so value added. And today India also consumes, I would say, almost close to somewhere around 50% as a liquid milk itself. But if
Got
you
it.
see global trend, how other developed country have grown, they have gone into a lot of value added products which has added a lot of income to the farmers and also growth of the industry and also for the nation and population for those countries. So India is still quite behind in terms of processing, and that is where I feel is the next major initiative and drive has to come in the milk industry, which can take India to the next level and where we can stand in front of all these developed nation and see in their eyes and say that yes, we are now also ready to address the market and also for the export. Because if you see in terms of export, we are very low in export, and one of the reason is that we are not having milk which is coming to industry processed in terms of quality, hygiene, and the standard which exist in the global market. So that is a very huge leap which is required. Whereas if you see all the developed nation, they are almost close to 100% or between 95 to 100% is milk that is produced is processed in the industry. So this part I feel is the most important part for the next development for the dairy industry. Milk production still in India is growing at a reasonably good rate. It will grow in next couple of decades for another 4%, which is a very good growth rate for any country. Now, if I just see, five states of India, that is basically Uttar Pradesh is the highest producing state. Then comes Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, and Andhra Pradesh. So out of these five states, 55% of India's milk production is coming out. Okay.
Correct.
Now, if we do analysis, then it is only one state, Gujarat, that I would say is reasonably well placed in terms of processing of milk. All other state doesn't have the kind of infrastructure this is which is required to process huge production what we are having in these states. And I
Absolutely.
would say thanks to Amul, because Amul is one of the major driving factor in Gujarat for achieving such good landmark of processing milk and producing some quality good products. Uh, Also, what I would say that in India today, the
And also probably they've also set up, they've given people an example to emulate, right? I mean, they've taken the leadership and shown people how to do it. So other
yeah.
businesses can look at them and grow in their path as well.
Yes, exactly. So actually, there is I mean, there are a lot of books also available, and there is a good growth story. And if people go through that process, what Amul has gone into, a lot of people can come and rise, and these states can be developed. Now, only what I feel today that in even in the larger state like UP and Rajasthan and other places, uh, Amul is taking initiative by investing there, but their local cooperatives or local investors, they are not coming much in a big way as we would have expected for that. So if you see now in India, whatever total milk that is coming to industry and being processed, it is highly dominated by cooperatives. Like 40% of the total milk what is produced in India uh, is uh, is processed by the dairy cooperatives.
Right.
So my feeling is why the gap is rising between the production and processing in industry is that large business houses and large private sectors, they their interest in investing in this particular business, if it is generated, then probably this industry can take a big leap, big quantum leap in terms of developing the processing and coming into value added products. Now dairy, as you know, in India plays a very important role because India has got a very typical eating habits,
Correct.
and also it is related to religion and economy both, and it employs a lot of farmers, and because of our unique models, because the farm level farmers, they have got very small cattle, unlike in Europe and all, there are big farms, there are thousands of cattle, whereas here you can find even two or three or four or 10 kind of cattle, and they are multiple in number, so it gives a lot of employment to a wider spectrum of people. So that part anyway, now it is getting quite a bit organized, production part. So what I'm coming to, the processing part, which needs to be improved, and we need to get into more hygienic and more quality milk, even what is coming into market, and also more of a value added product like our traditional products are like ghee, paneer, some ethnic sweets, dahi, curd, and buttermilk, and all. For those, I would say that if investments are taking place, uh, processing increases, then probably we can shift these low processing capacities to a bigger processing capacities.
Absolutely.
So what with having said all this, what I feel now, that GEA being a very quality, technology supplier and also equipment supplier for the dairy industry, we have been here holding hands in India since now I would say more than 70 years. The first plant which first milk spray drying plant which was put in India in 1960s was by GEA, and that time actually nowhere in the world buffalo milk powder plant was put. And Amul took the initiative. They took that challenge, and we worked with Amul to set up that plant.
Yeah.
Which is the first, because Europe, most of our technologies are coming from Europe, and
Correct.
they have experience of buffalo milk. whereas India has most of the milk is coming from buffalo milk,
Correct.
So that from that period of putting some of the first plant like butter churn or spray drying plant or certain separators and decanters, homogenizers, walls, all these equipments, we were one of the pioneer which brought these quality equipment into the Indian dairy industry. And today, even today, we are trying to facilitate with whatever latest technology we have. We are introducing that in India and trying to bring those technologies so that we can have a quality products which comes out of our industry.
So let me take the story you just shared with us, and make it a little bit more personal. And the personal part, Suket, is tell me or share with me what kept you motivated to keep doing this at a personal level. Because this, I'm sure the entire journey was not as smooth and nice as you just narrated. At a personal level, there were probably a lot of challenges. So, at a personal level, how did you stay motivated and keep to the goal to get to where you've gotten?
See, what I would say that my passion is mainly technology. I'm very much passionate about technology, and GEA is one of the place where I have been since last 26 years because these new technology, new innovation, the wide variety of products what we have, the wide variety of processes what we have, that keeps me motivated continuously. Try to find out what's happening in the market, say for example in dairy market in India, and where we are lagging behind and which technology we can bring in which adds value in the context of developing Indian dairy industry. Now if I say like our technology actually is not just limited to say dairy farming or dairy processing or making we touches everyday life of consumers throughout
Sure.
the day. Like if you see when you get up, you brush your teeth. The silica that is in the toothpaste is made out of our spray dryers. And then you take instant tea or coffee after brushing your teeth. Then you go for a breakfast. Milk and milk products are there. We have huge and very popular technology for cookies, cakes, French fries, various types of food. What you see, medicines, even when you are driving a car, the gasoline in that is we are giving technology of refinery vacuum systems where when you distill out crude oil, you extract diesel, petrol, kerosene and all product. That system is supplied by us. Polymers, what you see like PET bottle, polythene bags or whatever you are seeing, we give polymer plant. Aluminum, for aluminum processing, we give our technology for recycling alumina back to the system. So what I would say that our technology touches every day of life, and also a lot of systems like just other than dairy. Like in dairy, we require refrigeration system. We are giving refrigeration system for cooling various for giving various cooling requirement. So if I convert our technology into everyday use, then I would say that every one-fourth of the milk that is processed in industry is coming out of either GEA equipment or GEA process plants. Every second beer of mug what you drink is coming out of GEA equipment. Every third chicken nugget which you are eating is coming out of GEA technology. Similarly, like if you see instant coffee, every third processing line in the world for instant coffee is coming out of our plant.
Correct.
If you talk about, say blood processing and making plasma, then every one-fourth of liter of blood is processed in our equipment. Every second container, say ship in world that is sailing is having GEA marine equipment. So we are actually touching entire circle of consumers, and with our main focus remaining with food, mainly beverages and pharmaceutical sector. Now, as you know, in food today, all these dairies, they are having a backward and forward integration both in terms of
Yeah.
like they are for cattle feed also. And in the forward integration, they are using their, milk, what they are producing for making, say, chocolates, cookies, and so many things, and we are into all those technologies.
Correct.
So so what happens, when I see, this kind of investment and this kind of mindset coming, and when I meet all the MDs and chairmen of these cooperatives and our customers, any idea comes into their mind, I pick it up and then try to see that how I can integrate that and give them a total solution, one window solution, and that interest, and make a viable proposal to the customer. So this actually keeps me, motivating in terms of, one is I'm getting everyday learning, getting into new technologies. If you go to GEA website, every year you will find, couple of innovation product that comes in, which increases either energy requirements, sustainability, and improving hygiene and quality standards.
So I'm going to change it a little bit again, and I'm going to ask, let's say if you go to a engineering college and you have, I mean, your son just came out of college 2 years ago.
Mhm.
So what would you advise people who are coming out of college today? I mean,
Mhm.
if somebody comes to you and say, okay, I'm in final year of college, how should I make my decisions? What should I do? How should I navigate? What advice would you give? I mean, the way I was asked this question many years ago is, what would you tell your younger self if you knew everything you knew today and you had to go tell yourself 25 years ago? What
Mhm.
advice would you give yourself 50, 30 years ago, knowing what you know today?
Okay. Yeah. See here, what I would say, that what I have learned through this career, and when I go back, like what you have asked me,
Yeah,
and think over, then there are certain key traits which are required for us to keep us motivated and develop ourselves. Okay. Of course, it goes without saying that you should have the relevant qualification.
sure.
That is that is the first thing. But then there are many other things which
On
sometimes.
that one, one thing I would say, you have a very intense personality because you said you have always been good in academics. And here is what I take away from that is you've been very sincere. You've been very disciplined and very sincere. So that's something you're definitely saying. Yes, please.
Yes. So I mean, you have taken my word, but thank you for that.
Sorry.
So what what I would say, that first of all, the people, when they come out of the college and get into their job, they should take ownership and responsibilities. They should come upfront and show that they are keen to handle whatever situation is coming to them, and whatever demand is being expected from them. Okay. They should take initiative, and they should also respond very positively towards whatever is coming to them. They should not sit and wait in a kind of a reactive mode, and waiting for problems to happen, and before taking any actions. I mean, that is one thing. So what I mean by this is that they should be proactive and not reactive. Okay. Now, what I see, that reactive people, if you typically observe them, then they will say, I can't, if only, I have to, like those kind of phrases will come out of them. And these phrases are basically indicating that they try to shift blame to outside
Something
circumstances,
else.
getting rid of responsibilities. So my only one very important message would be that, they have to be proactive. They should consciously try to change and be more positive, and they should have more empowering phrases like, I can, I will, I want to do, like those kind of things. Now another thing is that they should continuously be honing their skills, and competencies, because this is a very fast changing world, and we need to have complementary skills. It is not just that you have got a good, you have passed out from a very reputed college, you have got a very good score, and then that's it. You should never stop learning, basically. Now it is, I will give you one example. like uh, like it's very easy and straightforward to improve on a weakness. You can steadily uh, get a measurable results through linear development. Okay. Now, by learning and practicing some basic technique, you can overcome your weaknesses. But what happens, doing more what you already do well will yield only incremental improvement. uh, but what happens, if you want to get better, then you have to work on your basically complementary skills, and this is what we call as a non-linear development. Now, I can give you example. I mean, because this is more familiar with athletes actually, where
Okay.
there are cross training taking place. Like, if there is a novice runner, say for example,
Yeah.
now he will benefit from doing some stretching exercises and running and for few weeks, and gradually increasing his running capability and gain the mileage, uh, and develop he will develop his muscles and all. But experienced marathoner who runs marathon, he will never significantly get faster by just running every day and trying to improve on that. He
Definitely.
has to have complementary, like, therefore these marathoners are advised that they should go to the next level. They need some supplementary regime. Say for example, weight training. They will go for swimming, they will go for bicycling, then they will go for yoga, interval training, those kind of things. So they have to get into some complementary skills to reach to a higher level of their marathon running.
Correct.
Same thing is applied in our industry, that we all of us needs to have complementary skills in our day to day life to excel in whatever we are doing.
Yeah, that makes sense. In fact, one thing as you were saying, I was thinking, in the business that we are in, commercial intelligence,
Uh-huh.
it's in the analysts that I will hire and train.
Mm.
One thing we stress on is learn how to master something.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter whether you're mastering math or you're mastering music, or
Mm-hmm.
for that matter, wood carving,
Yeah.
but you have to learn how to master something,
Mm.
because that process of mastering, there are
Mm-hmm.
two steps in there. One is
Mm.
you're defining what mastering actually means,
Yeah.
right? So you're defining a standard. So that's
Mm-hmm.
one. And that defining the standard is not easy. There's a lot
Yeah.
of searching you have to define, what is it to master. And
Mm-hmm.
then there is a discipline and skill growth, challenging yourself, right?
Mm. Yeah.
In my business, I say I compete every day with
Mm-hmm.
myself yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, which is you have to find other ways to keep growing and complementing and not linear. You have to find some way to non-linearly grow. Otherwise, your growth path is, you know, very static.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. So, the last question then we have for you is looking forward. Um, you are still exceptionally young, even though you've been in your business for 30 years or so. I would still say you are exceptionally young. And I would think, with the kind of work environment we have now,
Mm.
like when I grew up, my father was he used to work in a machine shop. So,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't do that. We have a lot of intellectual depth and breadth that we bring. So we have another 30, 40 years of life left, productive life left.
Yeah. Yeah.
How would you, what is going through your head? What do you want to do in the next 30, 40 years?
Oh.
Other than, of course, seeing your son grow and your grandkids go, that's a given. But your brain is not going to stop. Your brain is alive. So what do you want to do with yourself in the next 20, 30 years?
See, that's a, I mean, a question which normally, people never dwell on, and but always, sometime when we are sitting back at a leisure time, when we are alone, we always think, what is next, that is coming in the life, what we have to do, because we have gained certain knowledge, experience, and we want that it should be contributed towards something which can benefit both us, and also to the society or to the country where we are living, and we can contribute to something. Now, like my experience and my skills and my interest, as I have told, that lies in the in the technological area, where I try to keep myself updated, and I try to see that if I can uh, you know find ways and means where you know certain part of area where our developmental activities are slow, we can improve in those areas. Now we have to also contemplate to the local environment, and also the growth prospects related to what's happening around us. So what my wish would be that during my this career, till I am serving as a professional, and later on, if I get opportunity, then I would like to contribute in terms of uh, say, for example, supporting some of the younger generation who are coming in, uh, and try to impart whatever knowledge I have gained, what kind of method they should adopt for the growth, and also guide them and coach them basically. So because after certain age I cannot be directly a forefront runner in the business, in driving the business, so then I have to step back, and all the young aspirant leaders who are there, if I associate with them and try to support them in growing and developing their career for the future. So that would be my wish, after I'm out of my professional career actually.
Perfect. So you see, I mean, usually we would explain why we are recognizing you. Actually, you explained it all. So for us, when we were thinking about you, the two things that surface whenever we think about you is, one is, you have been extremely sincere and disciplined about technology, to the extent where everything else became noise. Because as you said, you are, I would say, you are a technology athlete. Let's put it this way, put it in your own words. And
Yeah,
when you focus on something like that, everything else, politics, social, all of this is not a distraction anymore, right?
yeah,
Because your pursuit of technology, all that distraction goes away.
yeah.
And hence you've been there for 26, 27 years. You've displayed immense amount of leadership, I would say, not just in your business but way beyond the scope of your business. Your humility will not allow you to accept it, but that is one thing that we have always thought about. And the second thing also we've thought about is, we feel, when we talk to people in your business and people around you who work with you,
Mhm.
um, they look at you as an inspirational figure, even if they may not come and talk to you, but they
Mhm.
chart your career, they chart what you have done, and they find ways to copy you, which is
Mhm.
great, because that's a living that's living leadership. I mean, copying is the best form of flattery. So thank you for taking time and speaking with us and allowing us to recognize you and have you in our circle.
Thank you, Anup. Thanks for the time.
No, thank you.
I know it must be quite late in your place.
No, it's never too late to talk to people like you. I'm glad we were able to make it work.
Yeah.